Conversate for a few.
Welcome to the next episode of Conversate for a Few. I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This is not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely is not. This is a podcast about hip hop. What we doing today, bro?
We talking the King of New York gone wrong.
Okay. All right. I don't even know where to start, bro.
So, particularly on the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Dominantly, obviously, in New York. But in general, like New York being like the epicenter of hip hop for a long time, especially in the 90s, during the Pac Big era. But one of the things I call it by default that became to be embedded in New York hip hop culture was everyone fighting for the so-called crown.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, and I'll get into it a little later, but even Jay played into the controversy.
I mean, he absolutely played into it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But everybody, everyone was fighting to be the so-called King of New York.
Yeah. And if go ahead. Yeah. You said you started with a specific time period, right?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, how did you mark that time period when you started? The big Pac kind of
big Pac, like 9-5 to 9-9 is when it kind of first is coming up.
Right. And I'm just thinking, when you make that statement, thinking the years prior, there were rap battles, of course, in New York. There was battles for supremacy of who was nicer than who and all that good stuff. But none of them was, that I can recall, were claiming the crown of the city.
Right.
Like we run New York. You know what I'm saying? Well, other than the KRS-One. Watch out, we run New York. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you know what I'm saying, like that. But that was so early. He wasn't saying he was the king of New York and nothing like that. So you're right, that verbiage didn't really, it wasn't a thing.
Right. And so the reason why I say this King of New York gone wrong type thing is because even the person that is attributed with, he wasn't necessarily saying he was the King of New York. He was adopting a name from a character in the movie.
That's facts.
So Big, right, by his second album, Life After Death, he started going by the alias Frank White.
Mm-hmm.
You got to call me Francis M.H. White and take light totes.
Yeah.
I was told in shootouts, keep low and keep fire. So he adopted the name, right? Frank White was the character that Christopher Walken played in a movie called King of New York that came out in 1990.
Right.
So, and this is a time where, I mean, around that time when you get like 9-5, 9-6, like you have a lot of people having alias names. Ho is Iceberg Slim.
Yeah, the whole Wu Tang had aliases.
The whole Wu Tang, all like Raekwon is Lex Diamond. Yeah, like all of them got all of these names and adopted names from people from movies and all type of other things.
Nas became Escobar.
Yeah, right.
Esco. So yeah, you're right. Everybody was adopting characters and aliases on top of aliases inside, especially inside New York hip hop. That was a thing.
Right, and so it's always been a thing for rappers in general to say, I'm the best. It don't matter which state or coast you from.
Right.
Right. That's always been a thing. Just that whole braggadocious, I'm the best type thing. Right. So we expect every rapper to say that regardless. Right. The problem is Big is saying it, because of the name he adopted and him saying, I'm the best.
Yeah.
Then it turned like, then it's just a play off of his name. I'm the King of New York.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it really became like a personal slight people felt. That's how I'm interpreting it. Outside looking in, right?
Right.
During this era. Like, I am literally better than every artist in New York.
Right.
I run New York hip hop scene.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm that guy. So
And really, and this is, so my point being, so it led years later to a constant back and forth and battle about who's the King of New York. But there's only one Frank White alias was rapper, and he died.
Right. And to that point, I kind of feel like the only reason the war for King of New York started is because he died. Like the back and forth about who was King of New York and all that only existed because the space was left.
Right, because no one was arguing it when he was here, and not just because he was like
you know what
it, but what I mean, nobody was arguing when he was here in the sense that everybody knew that Frank White was connected to the movie King of New York.
Right.
So it was like that was his thing.
Yeah, it wasn't even a. So you know what? I wonder if
it's just kind of play on the theme.
So who said it though? Did Jay say? Did Jay come out and say I'm not a king of New York? Do we remember him saying that? Did Nas come out and say now I'm the king of New York? Or did the media pick up the torch and say the new king, so and so is not a king of New York? Or did Hot 97 now crown so and so now the king of New York? Is that what happened? Because I don't remember one of them saying now I'm the king. I remember Jay saying who's the best MC, Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas.
Right, absolutely.
But that was.
And he was alive at that time, I think, still, or may have just died.
He was dead.
That's in my lifetime.
He was dead.
That was in my lifetime.
Yeah, he was dead. That was 97. He was dead.
Yeah. So that's just that about who's like the best, because they were like that was always the argument. But now I'm going to get into Jay later because he says some stuff that he says a few lines to imply that he's the king of New York. Of course, we're using takeover, watch out, we run New York, right?
Right.
And then saying, but even on the saying, if I'm not better than Big, then I'm the closest one.
Right.
He said some other stuff. The ghetto got a mental telepathy. I put my feet in the footsteps left for me without saying the word. The ghetto's got a mental telepathy. Like, I'm the one who meant to take Big shoes. I'm the real king. Like, it's implied there that he's saying he's.
It is implied that I'm the next. But see, it's not even implied that I'm. If I'm not better than Big, I'm the closest one. There's no implication there. I'm saying
no, there's no
up,
implication.
You know what I mean? So once he said that, anything else he said that implies it only refers to the thing that wasn't an implication. You know what he means. You know what I mean? But even in none of that are the words. You know what I mean? I'm the king of New York. He said it somewhere. I can hear him saying it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he said it somewhere, but I don't think it was so early that.
Let me answer your first question, and then this will make sense. I don't think he did say it before, but he didn't say it until after.
That's kind of my point.
And I'm getting to your question. I don't remember anyone saying that prior. I remember magazines making a thing of it and media making a thing like, who's the next king of New York? Like, I remember them playing it up. And then rappers played into that.
Right.
And start vying for that position.
Yep. That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
In retrospect, that's how I remember it. It's like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's instead of saying who's hottest next. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, who owns this spot that Big once owned.
Right.
You know, it's like they created the spot and then for a while 50 held it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's been passed through the time. But I think what I'm trying to say is it became less who's the best MC in New York to who's the hottest rapper in the game.
Right.
And if you happen to be from New York, then you could be the king of New York at that time.
Right. And this is why we're saying King of New York going wrong. And I'm saying like the whole King of New York theory thing came up by default because Big he wasn't looking to create this.
Nah. He was looking for a moniker.
A character, exactly. A moniker, right, that's connected to the title of a movie. You niggas came and made it something else.
Right.
Like we do. Like they did with the Jesus story.
Now you make it
something else.
Right. Exactly. They fit your own narrative. Yeah. But I mean, that's exactly what they did. And the funny thing is it sprouted legs. I don't want to get off track. But later you had T.I. not only trying to say he was the king of Atlanta, he was like, damn that, I'm gonna claim the whole South. and caused a shitstorm down there. So it really went wrong. Because it was looked at like, okay, this is what's happening in the Mecca, in the epicenter of hip hop, where the Big Bang of hip hop. This is what's going on there. There's a king of New York, which is basically saying the king of the North. You know what I mean? So in turn, you have hip hop acting kind, and then you have a king of the South popping up that causes a shitstorm down there. When the intention wasn't for there to be a king. Right.
You know, the whole irony about all of this is anybody claiming king after Big, you actually are biting him. That's why we got to make clear why he starts saying he was the king of New York, because of the moniker he adapted as Frank White.
Right.
Like, other than if he adapted Frank White and the name of the movie was something else, he would have called himself something else connected with that moniker.
If the movie King of New York had never existed, he would have came up with a different moniker.
Right.
We wouldn't be having this argument if he didn't watch that movie and be like, you know what, Frank White. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna run with Frank White. If it wasn't there for him to run with, he could have been Scarface if he didn't already exist.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So it's like, but from that, we got battles. We got, I mean, all types of foolishness. We got great
all types
songs.
of controversy, arguments, top 5 lists, all this type of stuff.
Yep. From people taking it wrong. That's nuts, bro.
Yeah. So that's my whole thing. It was never meant to be a position to be vied for.
Nah,
like, you know, I am Frank White. That's my, like, one of my aliases, my rap shits. It's connected to the movie.
Yeah.
Right? So that's who I am. So if you start saying that, nigga, you're biting off of something I'm doing.
Right.
Like, that would be like, nah, y'all ain't the Wu-Tang, we the Wu-Tang, nigga.
Right. You know what it's very similar to? All the granddaddies and fathers and all that at the Big Daddy came. You know what I mean? All the youngs, it's the same. But it just got more personalized.
Yeah.
You know, it got more personalized. So it went from it, I guess, all the daddies and stuff popping up. That was they were biting. Right? I think the youngs, that became trendy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Just like the Lils became trendy. Just like now, the 3 letters before the 3 gang letters before your name is trendy. You know, but being the king of New York, that's literally biting.
Yeah.
It's biting, but I think they were driven to bite. Ain't that some wild shit? If the media did it first, they were driven to bite.
That's what I'm saying. They played into the media, you know what I mean? The media storm surrounding that.
Yeah, that's foul. That's sick. That's sick. You know what I mean? Like,
Cause it's like honestly, even if you feel like, and everyone, like, if Big didn't ever even adapt Frank White, he was gonna still feel like he's the best. So now, I'm the best in the city. Yeah, you know, we running shit. So, was you gonna take his name? No, I'm Big. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
And it could have been like, I'm the Lance Armstrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But niggas have been like, who's the next Lance?
Right.
Yeah, the New York Lance Armstrong. If you know what I mean? Anything, anybody that wins all the time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And so that's the crazy part. I don't think the people that actually said it, possibly with the exception of Jay, I don't know, but I don't think they ever sat down and really thought about, like, yo, I'm actually biting. Yeah. Because it doesn't make sense. It don't make sense. Like, you think, like, if 50 is saying he the king of New York, right? Like, when you sit down and ask you, yo, why you saying that?
Or
the reality of it is, he's gonna whatever say, because I'm the hottest, I'm selling the most records. But the reality of it is, you're saying that because Big adapted Frank White as a moniker was connected to the movie King of New York. That's it. Period.
Yeah. It would be. I would like to ask rappers. You know how you asked if do you know why you call you know what I'm saying the King of New York? I would want to know, do you know why Big called himself the King of New York?
Right.
Like, have you ever given any thought to why? Yeah, have you ever, as all the MCs in New York, have you ever given any thought as to why Big called himself the King of New York? Like, and it probably wouldn't take him long. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it probably wouldn't take them long. They just probably haven't done it.
Right. You know, the irony is just thinking about, well, we already talked about it. This is a piece we never have talked about.
Okay.
This is a quick aside. Frank White gets shot and killed in the movie King of New York. Now, we talked about Big Ready to Die and Life After Death, like being careful with names and titles, you name your album, stuff like that. But we never actually talked about that part.
That's a fact.
That even the alias, the moniker that he adopted, died by gunshot.
The same way. Well, essentially the same way. Yeah, you're right. You got to be careful.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's not the way to do it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be careful, bro. I mean, when you map it out like that, you know what I'm saying? Ready to Die, Life After Death, Frank White. You know what I mean? Rise to the Top. That was the story.
Yeah.
I mean, he got out of jail. He was already popping. You know what I'm saying? Got out of jail, came for the crown, got his crown back, and went out. So yeah, that's just that's.
And you know it's crazy. So when we look at it and lay it out like that, there can only be one King of New York to ever exist in hip hop.
Facts.
That's it.
That's it.
So that should be off the table as a title for anybody that came after.
Yeah, they shouldn't even want to be the King of New York.
Right. Especially if they heard this.
Yeah. Yeah, if they heard this rationale, they could be like, okay, keep that title. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, man, you keep that one. Like, let me figure something else out. Matter of fact, let me choose something that's healthy and long lasting.
That's something that got some longevity into it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Let me make something up instead of picking from something that's already been, you know what I mean? But God knows. Yeah, man. And the funny thing is I know Big couldn't even imagine it going that far left.
Nah.
You know? Like I don't think that's what he was doing. I don't think that's what was on his mind at all. Nah. You know, I really think it was that innocent.
Absolutely. Me too.
I think it was that innocent.
Yeah, 'cause you wouldn't consciously do that.
Right.
Not a person in their right mind. And I've never heard an account that he was not in his right mind.
Matter of fact, you wouldn't. That's funny. He wouldn't even have thought to call him, like, he wouldn't have. I don't know how I want to put it, bro. It's like, of course he didn't take it that serious, right? He called himself Frank White. If he took it that serious, you wouldn't have heard about the Frank White part.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He just would have stood on the king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you would have never heard the Frank White part if he took it that serious. He would have just stood on the king part. Like, I'm the king. You know what else though? You know what else did it? That picture of him with that crown on his head sitting in that throne.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That didn't help. But that was for a magazine. That was for source.
See, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
That was for the source. Yeah. They were pulling out the big chair on stage, like during the performances and stuff, the king chair.
Yeah.
They were doing that. But he was a big nigga, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know who idea that was. To be honest with you, shit, Frank White might not even have been his idea. The King of New York, Black Frank White might not even been his idea. That could have been Puff been like, yo, this would be fly paper Playboy.
Right. And
he'd be like, yo, you know what? I can make this work. You know what I mean? Like anything. So
right.
that's the crazy part. That all of that could be possible. Any of that could be possible, and then you get years down the line, people running with this title, the King of New York, like it even exists.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it even exists. It doesn't even exist.
Yo, but you know what's funny? Now you say that, yo, everything you say, and a lot of times we talk about this, like these various topics, like lines or songs just come into my head. Like it don't even exist. It's a ghost, which is why Jay in the freestyle, right? On Flex, where he was like, he said, how I'm supposed to win when they got me fighting ghosts. Like comparing him to like people in the past. He's like, I can't win that fighting ghosts.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's funny because he was referring to like those supposed to be the best pop big, and one of them is King of New York. Yeah, it's something that don't exist.
Yeah, it don't exist. You can't attain it. You can't get there. You know, I mean, hell, for one, it don't exist because it didn't exist to the person you got it from.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't beat me and call yourself the greatest of all time if I didn't call myself the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how you the GOAT for beating me and I don't even consider myself the GOAT? Like, that ain't how I saw it. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
They called me, they called me GOAT because I ate paper as a kid.
Yeah.
You got it all mixed up. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got it all mixed up. And that's how they run it with.
That's about what's going on. Yeah. And it's funny. I think the most important point is the fact that he didn't stick with just the name of the movie, King of New York. He called himself Frank White.
Right. Frank White. He probably said Frank. I think he's probably said Frank White. Was it simultaneous as King of New York, or did you hear him say Frank White first?
Definitely Frank White first.
I think so too. I think hearing him say Black Frank White was before he said King of New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Black Frank White hit it with sight. Yeah, I think it was pretty early too. Yeah. That's wild. Are there any other gone wrongs like this that pop in your mind?
Well, so yeah, and some people may say it's a stretch. Gone wrongs in terms of King of New York.
I mean, well, you can use one King of New York, but just gone wrongs, period. In kind.
Oh, got you. Ah, man. I have to think on that. But but just in terms of the whole King of New York thing, that literally all the beefs, that's the undercurrent. Like when Rockefeller and D Block was going at it. That's what DMX literally said in his diss song, "I only gave you the crown so I can shoot it off your fucking head." Yeah. Right. Yeah. But like all of these beefs, then when G Unit was with going at D Block, when that whole thing, all of it is about we the king, or I'm the king, or this particular person in the crew is the king. That's what all these beefs was about. That's what I'm saying is so crazy about they fighting for something that never even existed to the person that created it.
It was never even a thing to him.
Yeah.
It was never, it's funny. Unlike Ali, who stood there and said, "I'm the greatest of all time." Yeah. You know what I mean? Big didn't ever call him. You know what I mean? That it's so opposite of that.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. It was just enough. It was an ill, wittier way to say I am the best, which everybody's saying they rap.
Right.
I'm the nicest.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Damn, yo. If that movie had been called King of the East Coast, you know what I mean? Anything, you know what I mean? Anything. If it had been King of Philly, King of Jersey, he wouldn't have chosen it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't even matter. It's just like we got sunk down this rabbit hole. It was like the perfect place, perfect time, perfect opportunity for us to get, like a classic movie fictitious character who showed strength and violence in the street game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That happened to be by the name king of the title of the city that gave birth to a new genre of music.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it all just lined up, but it could have went. Nigga could have been king of Cleveland, bro.
Yo, and then, and what is funny is that, but yo, this just plays even more. Like I'm just thinking about it now, man. Like even the character that played Frank White, like Christopher Walken, and then Christopher Wallace.
Yeah.
Like even the initials, down to the initials.
Yeah.
So that whole theme and running with that is only really for one person to do that.
That's a fact. It was tailor made for that man.
Yeah.
It was tailor made for that man.
It's kind of like watching the interview of Jabari Banks from that new series Bel Air.
Okay.
And how his name is actually Banks, just like
yeah.
But how he actually is from West Philly and grew up with he lived with his Uncle Phil in West Philly.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
It's crazy. He was talking about all like the kind of parallels and how he was kind of born to play this role. But yeah, it's like kind of like that.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
and then he tried to rap. I don't even want to speak on that.
Well, yeah, you know.
Probably one of the worst car wrecks you ever seen.
What kid his age didn't try that though?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? It's a good interview. You know what I mean? Very good interview. I liked them.
Right.
Then they didn't ask him to rap. He volunteered.
Oh, he volunteered.
Like, y'all ain't gonna ask me to rap because what's coming new? Got some clothes coming, other movies, and music. And then he was like, y'all ain't gonna ask me to rap. And so Charlamagne was like, all right, we didn't ask you, but you want to do this? Put on Fabulous Breathe.
Oh no.
He didn't get 3 lines out.
Oh, they gonged him, son.
It was so bad. He was like, yo, let me get another beat. So then, because he was from Philly, they gave him the "What We Do Is Wrong." Then they gave him. He was like, man, bring me into 2022. Like, give me something new. And then, like, they was like, man, Charlamagne's like, we ain't gonna keep doing this with you all day, man. He was like, you don't got no writtens? Not one written. He's like, no, I don't got no writtens. He was like, yo. So then they put on that.
Hold on.
Yeah, I already know. I know.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you what this is. Outrage marketing. This nigga,
you think so?
This nigga, yes. You do not go on the Breakfast Club and tell those people that you have a project, that you have music. They ask you what's coming next. You say clothes, you say things, and then say music. And then ask them, y'all ain't gonna ask me to rap. Then they put on beats. You can't rap.
No.
And they ask you, you ain't got no writtens, and you got music on the way, supposedly. And you don't have any songs that you got. You can't say one of your songs. Come on, bro. This nigga don't do. They say, I tell you what you do.
But look, this how it ended. So they was like, bring me under 2022 something new, and so they put on what's the song? Was it Super Gremlin or whatever? Something Gremlin.
Yeah.
They put that beat on. They put that beat on. He couldn't do nothing. And and then Charlamagne was like, listen, man, you don't have to do this, and it just fades to black and goes off.
I told you, yo. They just creating moments, man. They good at this now. They get too good at it out here, bro. Ain't no way. But all them coincidences is nuts.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's a lot
that's
of them.
crazy. Yeah, that's super dope, though. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I watch it.
Yeah, I ain't seen none of it yet.
Nah, it's good. My favorite, and it's not, of course, it's a little different.
Yeah.
But favorite character up there is like Jeffrey, because he ain't serving food.
Right.
That nigga's like Ghost.
Yeah.
That nigga's like Ghost. Like he's the best dressed best dressed actor,
Yeah.
like character I ever seen in a show.
So he be giving it up.
Custom fitted suits, mad smooth.
Yeah.
And he make one phone call, you don't wake up the next day.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how he giving it up. Like, yeah.
They got Jeffrey on some other shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like, really.
Hey, man. Hey, man.
They got him on some power stuff, man.
Right. I don't even understand how they do that, but okay. I'm going to let that ride.
Because instead of just being like the butler, he's like Uncle Phil, like kind of like assistant, like stuff that he need done,
right,
he get
right,
it done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I get it.
Yeah. Like, yeah.
He like Hulk from Spencer for Hire.
Yeah.
You don't remember that show, do you? You don't remember that?
I don't. But I know for a fact that what you saying is that's him.
Yeah.
I know it. I can tell by how you asked the question.
For sure. For sure. Hell yeah. Oh man. But
yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other going wrongs, yo. I mean the obvious.
I'm sure there are plenty.
Yeah, the obvious going wrong is Tupac.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an obvious going wrong. Like a narrative that was just taken and ran with and just went totally wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't play out the way niggas expected to.
That's true.
Got out of hand.
Quick too.
Yeah. It's funny because I think a lot of these things, if we go back and trace this Tupac and Big and you know what I mean, like there were a whole bunch of narratives that just got spun all the way out of control. Whether it be something as simple as King of New York getting spun completely into something like they would just, it seems like they were two people that were meant to be part of the fabric of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like they didn't have a choice. They were gonna be part of the fabric of hip hop. What hip hop is, the king of this, you know what I mean? More money, more problems. You're gonna hear it forever. You know what I mean? I'm the new Tupac. You know what I mean? This is, you're gonna hear it forever. You know what I mean? It just seems like that's what they were. They were doing these things because you know what I mean. They were doing these things before they passed. Yeah, them passings just solidified it. Yeah, you know it. You know, so I don't know about fate and all of that, but it just, you know what I mean. Like it don't seem like it wasn't. Right. But then you choose your own fate, I guess, too, huh? Yeah. You know?
I have I always meant to ask you this as we're going along with that, the narrative of Big to Frank White, King of New York, to all of this, right? Do you remember the song, or I know you remember the song, but the verse on Last Days on Life After Death, where Jadakiss taught, he said that it was going to be Big's last album in his verse. Do you remember that? Do you notice that?
I don't. Let me.
He said, I think he said, my last.
I'm looking it up right now.
Like in his verse, he said it was like his last. He said, "Oh yeah, the last joint got a double copper." Jadakiss in his verse on Last Days.
Who rapped first? I can't remember.
Oh, Sheep rapped first.
Okay, he
set it off. Then Jadakiss, you already know what it's about. When I run up in the house, put the gun up in your mouth, take your money out the couch, hand me out a senseless. Perhaps, for instance, I give this French kiss. Oh yeah, you know about life after kicking the kid ants. It's me and my mid ant can flip 7 great ants. Flow is forbidden. Yeah, either you're riding or you're dying, because we swinging iron, the locks and popper, turning niggas in the gym hopper. We won't stop it. The last joint, double copper.
It's your last joint, double copper. He's talking to somebody else. Yeah. Who's gonna stop us? It's your last joint, double copper. Right. Yeah. You getting money or you running from the feds? Ain't nothing over here but 16. And one in the head. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's what it is. That line, he's talking. He's talking to somebody else.
Right.
Who's gonna stop us? Is your
it's
last
the,
joint?
Is
Double
you know,
copper.
I thought, yeah, but like listening to it, right? And thinking about like, his last joint, because it was a double CD. Last joint, double copper.
Double was like, wait a minute, because you could take double copper. It's a double copper. Like you gotta, you know what I mean? Like it's double CD.
That's why I thought you were talking about the album, because you know what I mean. So I'm like, it's his last one. How did he know it was gonna be his last joint? Double LP. But anyway.
Yeah, I get it though. Like, that's why I'm glad sometimes we can find the lyrics, because we don't know what exactly was. You know what I mean? We have to listen.
You speculate.
Yeah, you have to hear it a bunch of times and really just break it down. Or it would just be like when we was kids, where you listen and write the words down yourself and just rewind it until you can hear every last syllable.
Yeah.
Who got time for that shit?
Not today. Nobody doing that today.
Shit, not even 20 years ago did I have time for that.
Right.
Yeah, I was grown 20 years ago.
We did it.
Yeah.
We came from that for real.
Oh, we did it, but it wasn't 20 years ago.
No, it wasn't.
It was more than 20. Yeah, it was more than 20 years ago. You can believe that. Yeah. Man. Dad, this brought a lot of thoughts though. You know, just not paying attention in hip hop and just, you know, letting the media dictate the direction that we going.
Yeah, man. You know, I really wish, and now that you brought the that point up, I would love to know if somebody told Big this is something fly to adopt, or if he just decided on his own, like, yo, I'm adopt, Christopher Frank White into my, my style.
Yeah, I mean, and the only reason I think about it like that is because I didn't even make my own nickname up, and and it's part of my real name. Yeah, I've had it my whole life, and it took me 20 years for somebody to shorten my last name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it could come from anywhere.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
That's kind of, so people be like, I know Big wouldn't take. You don't know what, you know what I mean? The conversation sitting around, like, I wouldn't take a nickname either.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it just so happened that somebody said something to me that made sense. Mm-hmm. You know, they could have been calling him Frank White. They could have been calling, you know what I mean? Anything. You know, so it's just, it just got taken the wrong way. Mm-hmm. You know, it just got taken the wrong way. Or portrayed the wrong way.
Right.
I think it got portrayed the wrong way. Like, I think that's what we've come to. It got portrayed the wrong way, and rappers, MCs from the city played into it getting portrayed the wrong way. Like, it didn't have to go like that.
Yeah, it didn't.
No, it didn't. And it wasn't meant to go like that.
Yeah, even more importantly. Right?
Yeah, more importantly, it wasn't meant to go like that. It's, that's really ridiculous, yo.
Yep.
So that's funny. Is it too late to say be careful on letting the media guide you one way or the other?
No, because tomorrow's a new day and something else, some other tomfoolery gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or it's gonna be the next thing.
Yeah.
The next thing is going to happen that could lead people the wrong way. The media play it up.
Yeah.
There's some clickbaiting coming.
Oh, it's coming, buddy.
Because like, that's what happened. Like, the whole title became clickbait. King of New York.
Yeah.
It became clickbait before there was clickbait. Like, nigga claiming King of New York, somebody on you.
Yeah. Magazine bait, radio bait. It was bait for everything. Bait. It was just attention bait is what it was.
Absolutely.
It was an easy way to go viral before viral was a thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you can get your name in the conversation for King of New York, then you winning.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's right.
Wow. I'm glad it didn't take off like that in the South. I'm glad it kind of dwindled with one person.
Yeah.
It didn't, it's not a thing. It's likely it's likely not a thing in the South because it was never a thing for real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for that instance, T.I. backed off of it, I think. Kind of like, if you think you the king of the South, call yourself the king. I'm the king. You see what I'm saying? Like, it ain't like a... It's not real. He knew it wasn't real.
Yeah.
You know? I think New York take themselves too serious. That's what it is.
No, that's what they're absolutely. But I mean, you know, New York, you know how they do.
New Yorkers take themselves too seriously, bro. That's what it really boils down to. Like, New York MCs take themselves too seriously. Like, you can I can make up a title, right? Announce that you're not that person.
Because I'm that person.
And cause
I made it up.
And cause an uproar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the funny thing is he didn't even make it up. Like, this person, like, adopted a moniker. Tragedy happened. Media's like, there's a space because he had a moniker that we liked. We're gonna dangle this carrot in front of these other guys.
Right, because they know. I mean, they played into it so much. Like, he claimed King of New York. Okay, he was King of New York. If King dies, they know a new ruler, a new king has to come and place the rule. So who's gonna be the next one? They really played into it.
Yep, they really did. Shit, damn. And Slick Rick the ruler, didn't nobody say that to him.
Nah,
it was fine because then nobody take it that serious. Like, that's his moniker,
right? And I think also because it didn't have a particular location or place attached to him being the ruler.
That's a fact. He was just the ruler. Right.
If he was Slick Rick, the ruler of Bronx, it would have been a problem.
It would have been a problem. At least with somebody in the Bronx.
Yeah, at least with someone in the Bronx.
Yeah, Slick Rick, the New York ruler, he would have had a problem.
Yeah, he'd have a problem.
Yeah. Or they might would have just let him live with that moniker. And what we'd have had is other people come up with some other type of royalty type moniker.
Yeah.
That's what we would have had.
Yeah.
That's what we would have had. It would have become some type of trend. You know. Like the daddies and the youngs and the littles and the YBTs and the STDs and the
STDs.
Man. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. You got anything else on this one?
Nah, I think we covered it.
Yeah, I think so. It was interesting though, man. It was something I had never really considered.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm glad we talked about it. You know.
Yeah, sure.
I'm glad we talked about it. What I would like though is if anybody watching can come up with anything else that was just kind of taken the wrong way and ran with, you know, and it didn't even necessarily have to go wrong. Just taken the wrong way and ran with, and just became a thing. You know what I'm saying? But once you get to the bottom of it, you be like, that's not even real. You know what? Something that is like that in hip hop.
Yeah, and we covered it.
What was it?
Ghostwriting.
Oh, I was gonna say bars.
Yo, you're a smart dude, man. You're a smart nigga.
Bars.
That's a fact because that. Oh my God, it's been taken the wrong. Yo,
niggas that took bars the wrong way, sir.
What?
Like they don't
crazy
in hip hop. They even ran with it, and they would tell you got bars because you said something fire.
Right.
Okay, cool. That's the colloquialism. That's the slang. But a bar
that's not what bars
is not what a bar is. You know what I mean? A bar is actually a beat and a measure. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in a 4-bar measure, you have what? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 bars. So people count bars, and if you do simple math, 4 times 4 is 16 bar verses. You know what I mean?
Verse,
So, but most people, especially these new rap, matter of fact, most rappers don't know. Especially till somebody have to teach them. It's niggas that be rapping for a long time that don't know actually what a bar is.
Yeah.
What a real bar is.
Mm-hmm.
They know they spit them.
Yeah.
But they don't know. They don't know how to count them.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I think that's one of the things that's not necessarily going wrong, but that was taken the wrong way and grew legs.
Yeah, for sure.
You know. But
yeah.
That's the only thing that popped into my head. That's the only one. But what I was appreciate it, bro. But what I was gonna say is, if anybody out there can come up with anything that was like gone wrong or taken the wrong way, or you know what I mean, hit us in the comments or hit us in, you know what I mean, the DMs, whatever, you know what I mean. Just holler at us and let us know. The DMs that you're gonna holler at us and let us know on is Conversate for a Few at Instagram or Facebook, and there's another page, Extended Podcast Conversate for a Few page, so you can look that up on Facebook. Stay tuned for the limited edition Few Tang Clan merch. Make sure you go to YouTube and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Search Conversate for a Few on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Leave us some comments there. You know, let us know what you think about the show. Give us some suggestions of what you want to hear us have conversations about. All that good stuff. With that being said, I'm Jonna.
I'm Alan. This was not a podcast about classical music.
Absolutely was not. This is a podcast about hip hop. Make room for the tag.
Conversate for a few.
Hustle, welcome, man, they had to send me. Hustle from Raleigh, live from NC with your hosts, John and Alan. Relate to the two. You are now listening to Conversate for a Few. Check it on SoundCloud, debate with your crew. They talking hip hop from the late to the new. From July till June end. No Fridays for me. Tune in. Please listen to this podcast. 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 Please listen to this podcast.